You are live, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Welcome to This is Fit with Leigh. And we have a special guest. What's your name?
Ilayda.
Ilayda. I'm so glad to have you here. Guys, Ilayda she's just amazing. And I believe speaks 4 languages. Is that right?
Sure. Yeah.
And she's been in Korea for a while, been a university student here, been on TV. So she's just tremendous. I'm very excited to have her on tonight. And if you'd like to check out her YouTube, you can look it up here, and I have her links in the description. And this is her Insta. You can check out what she's been up to. So, Ilayda, a question for you. Can you do a quick self intro? Who are you?
So, hi guys, my name is Ilayda, the little water fairy, means water fairy. So, I'm Turkish-German, was born in Germany and lived in Germany, in Berlin, and came to Korea around 2 years ago and studied in Korea. And now I'm basically living in Korea.
I love that your name means water fairy. That is just too charming. That is too wonderful. And that's just so great. Like the multicultural background. Like, do you feel that because you had that different cultural background, that it was easier for you to see yourself moving to like another country? Did it kind of fit in together? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad that I had the chance to like grow up in 2 different cultures, like cultures.
Yes.
So being born in Germany, but at home we were always Turkish, like speaking Turkish. So I grew up bilingual, and then I learned English in school in Germany. So my English was not the best. Maybe sometimes you can hear my German accent, maybe not. And then
Not really, no.
and I studied Korean like starting in 2017, so it's been 5 years now, and attended some Korean classes in Germany, and yeah, now I'm here.
And that is something that impressed me so much, was your language ability in just 5 years. We have some hellos. Layla, friend from Saudi Arabia, says hello, Leigh, and guest. And we have a hello from this friend. And May, hi, and
Hi.
Lavanya. So I have a lot of international friends just all over the globe, and we are glad that we're all here together. So that was a great self intro. So you got this cool multicultural background, and I'm curious. Can you talk about how you first came to Korea? Because you were learning the language in Germany.
Yeah, like it's a whole story actually, but I will try to keep it short. So in 2017, 18, actually I was like having Korean friends in Berlin who introduced me to K-pop and K-drama. I mean, of course, but that was the first time I heard about Korea. But actually, like when I was like 5 years old, my grandfather, who was Turkish, he was a Korean war veteran. So
Really?
he fought in the Korean War like 70 years ago. And I knew about Korea, but I never knew where this country is. Like Korea, I was like, okay, somewhere in Asia, but I never been there. So I didn't know anything about Korea. But then when I was a teenager, my friends, like my Korean friends, they introduced me Korea. So I was like, oh, I heard about this country before. So why not researching more? So I looked up on the internet about this K-pop and K-drama stuff. And I was like, this looks exotic. And actually, I'm really into this exotic things, like what's different from Europe. So I just got in. And as you guys know, maybe a lot of people can maybe kind of emphasize with me, but when you're one time into Korea, you can't go out. Like I was like so stuck in it and I couldn't go back. So then I think in 2018, I just came first time to Korea, traveling all alone for 3 months backpacking. And I couldn't speak Korean at that time really well, but just like a little bit. And with that little bit of ability, I just came 3 months and just discovered all of the Seoul and Busan.
Oh, girl, I respect you so much more, because I always feel that women, that we should live alone in our lives, at least a fair bit, and we should travel alone. But it's not easy. And the fact that you just came here and you made it happen, that is awesome.
And it was not really easy, like my mom,
No.
she's not like really like, oh, she was not really open on that before. Like I was like, I just graduated from high school and I was like, I'm going to Asia. So my mom was like, Asia, like Korea, you never been there, you don't speak the language and you're gonna go there for 3 months, not even just 1 to a week, 3 months. And then she was like, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna stay? What are you gonna do there? So I was like, I just want to go and travel and discover, and I will find out my way
Mm-mm.
anyways. And yeah, she trusted me. So she said, okay, let's go. And then I think that was one of the best decisions in my life I did when I was like young. It was my first trip alone to Asia, and
Mm-mm.
actually alone from home so far away. Yeah.
And again, to do it so young and to just be decisive like that, to say
Mhm.
something about this calls to me, something about this makes me want to be there. I know I've got to be there. And just also like props to your mom, like high fives to your mom for supporting you, because she, she had her reasons to oppose it, but that's just
Yeah.
so. Let's see. Okay, so I had a slight mic issue. Is that a little bit better, May? Okay, so my light is good.
Okay.
Okay, and your name is beautiful. There we
Thank you.
go. And we had a hello for Harry. Haven't seen you in a while. And we had the question: how did you learn English? You said in school.
Yeah, like in Germany, I started when I was like in elementary school, but I
Mm-mm.
have also a lot of international friends. And I think my English got better when I came to Korea. So when I started to meet a lot of people from other countries, the only way to speak to them was in English. So I just like, I think improved by talking to these people, because I'm not really a shy person, really extroverted. So even if I
No.
make mistakes, even now, I would still go and speak in my own little way. Yeah.
And I think like you said, that's a big part of language acquisition, is not being afraid of the mistakes, just knowing I'm going to
Yes.
keep going. I'm going to keep
Yeah.
talking like regardless. Oh, wow. Oh, let's see. I think we know this guy.
Oh,
We
hello.
That's
It's one of my
right.
friends.
I know.
Hello.
안녕하세요. So we are Facebook friends, and I'm gonna see about a collaboration with this friend possibly.
Okay. Oh,
All
yeah.
right. So Layla said, I hope my dad trusts me and doesn't fear about me traveling alone. Well, Layla, you
Um,
are a brilliant and brave and capable woman. I think you could do it. So I wanted to ask you, Layla, I wanted to ask you about what are your current fitness goals? Because this is a fitness channel, and I was wondering about what you're into.
so I actually checked up your Instagram, and I was like so impressed, because like when I see you doing so great, I was like, yeah, that's actually my like kind of like what do you call it? Like the goal I want to achieve also. Like I want to go to the gym, but I don't know why, but these days I don't do fitness. Like I don't go to the gym,
Mm-mm.
but I really enjoy outdoor activities. So
Okay.
I go a lot of time hiking in Korea, since we have so beautiful mountains. So I do a lot of like cardio, but like beside cardio, I don't do any lifts or like weightlifting or something. So these days actually I don't have any fitness goals, but for the next year I was like, at least I should try to go to the gym. But my personality is more like the active person. So I
Yes.
don't like to be in the gym. I don't know why. It feels like maybe I feel like kind of bored, but being in the nature, it makes me feel like more connected. So
Oh,
I think I need some time to get like close with the machines.
okay. And there's so many things about the gym that you can tailor it. Like if
Mhm.
you do partner workouts, like it gets a lot more fun. It can be boring or like if you're just going into it. So I think there would be ways. I want to take you now.
Yeah,
I want
like
to take you to the gym.
I need some good influence on that, like and motivation, like because I don't have it yet. But yeah.
It's and because you have been so successful in this area, in the area of language learning, like you
Mhm.
just went all in and you made it happen. So I know, like anything you set your mind to, you're gonna get done.
That's yeah, like I'm in the all-in personality. So when I make up my mind and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, then I think I will do. But I don't know yet. Like I didn't have the courage yet to go for all in. Yeah.
The Solela says, I think you have a special ability to learn new skills. I would
Thank you.
agree with that, Layla. I think she's
Thank you.
got it. She's got it. And I wanted to ask, can you talk a little bit about your university
Mm.
experience? Because I know there's some interesting stories there.
Yeah, like so I actually attended school in Germany, But I came as an exchange student to Korea because I wanted to also like know the university life in Korea. But as you guys know, the last 3 years we had a pandemic, so I didn't have any chance to go after the pandemic. So because we didn't know when the pandemic is gonna be over, but I can't be a student for like years and years not graduating. So I was like, okay, I don't know what to do, but I think I have to come now or never. So during the pandemic, I decided to do an exchange year where basically 95% of my classes were online. So my parents didn't understand why I'm going to go into Korea if the class is going to take online place. So I'm not going to go to class, have face to face classes, but I still decided to come because I wanted to experience something at least because it was just before my graduation. So I didn't want it to miss it out. And I thought maybe that's another chance to experience other stuff beside the classes. So when I came, we didn't have like the orientation going to school, like because I knew from the videos, I saw so many YouTube videos about like university life in Korea and people go to orientation and university like festivals. But my orientation was online like this, and I met my classmates online. And yeah, we had like an online platform meeting, and then in the end, the classes were online. But a year passed, but I'm kind of still not regretting it actually, since thanks to the online classes, I was able to do other stuff that I can do. So I was, for example, listening to my classes. My professor should not listen to that, but in Jeju, I was in Jeju listening to my classes. So that's the thing what you can do during the pandemic. Now we have to be back in the class, right? But I could listen to my class from Jeju or from Cheonju and just travel and listen to class, and the class, go to travel. So I was kind of like maybe having a little bit different experience from other people they who came to Korea as an exchange student. Yeah.
And I think that's like a good lesson for a lot of people who really want to take a risk or try
Mhm.
something, but they feel like there's certain aspects of it that are not perfect. But what you did was you wanted to come here, and even knowing that you're going to be missing all of that great in-person stuff,
Yeah.
you still came, you still did it, and you found beauty and meaning and interesting parts of it even with that.
Yeah.
So, like, would you encourage people to, like, go for the risk that they want to take regardless?
Definitely, because I think there's always something beautiful or positive about your decisions. So I always try to think positive in a good way. So I
Mm-mm.
just made the best out of it because that was
Yes.
the time. So yeah, I
And
don't
I
actually regret it. Yeah.
and I feel like that's your strength also, that you move in a straight line toward what you think is right for you.
Yeah.
And that's a bravery that takes a while. Um,
You're so good in analyzing people. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's
look,
our first time like talking like that much, and I'm kind of amazed by you, like impressed actually. You have a good
thank
eye
you
for
all.
people.
I'm a professor. That's actually what I think. Thank you. That's so sweet of you to say. Leigh has a gym in her apartment. I kind of do. I kind of do.
Yeah,
So, like, if you hated going to the gym, you could just make your own
make your own
space.
plate. Oh my god.
That's right. You could do it. You could do it. And May says, "I like to hear your speaking. Your pronunciation is very cool." Isn't
Thank
she
you.
great, guys? I was
Thank you.
watching her YouTube videos and going, "Gosh, this girl's voice is lovely." So,
Ah.
no, you are. Let's see. So the question was, I guess your parents are very strict. Oh, because
Mm.
they opposed it originally, but apparently, they backed her up eventually. So.
So that's the thing what I wanted to say. Like first, when I was like younger, they were of course like strict. They were, I could say I had strict parents, but later, like after showing them that I can succeed what I'm doing, and I'm sure what I'm doing, my parents are actually my biggest supporters in my life. Like I think, and I think it was good that they were strict when I at that time. But when
Hmm.
I showed them that I'm really sure about what I'm doing, and showed them like the like kind of like the end, like the goals, what I did, and like what kind of things I did, my parents were like, okay, she's showing us results, so why not? Like, give it a try. So now they're kind of my biggest supporters. And I'm like, Mom, I'm doing that. She's like, really? Wow, have fun. And like, she's even like one of the first like people, like followers that always follows me and knows what I'm doing. And yeah. So.
That is wonderful it's funny, like a lot of times I feel like it's harder for parents and grandparents to continue growing as people, but your adventures, I feel like, were helping your parents grow, to get, like, open their horizons for what's possible for people.
Definitely.
And you've definitely inspired a lot of people with your studies. And that's another thing. I think anytime you take a risk and do something big, other people see that, like, they want to follow it.
True.
So that was a good risk you did. And so everybody, to recap again, we've got our guest here, and you can check out her Instagram. And as always, my Instagram is @thisisfit_Leigh. And I was wondering, you've been on television a bit in Korea. Could you talk a little bit about your television experiences?
So that's the funny thing. Like, I came to Korea as a student, and I was doing like actually some YouTube videos with some of my Korean friends who had a YouTube channel. But we eventually did a video in 2018, a pranking video like 4 years ago, and that video like just hit like 1 million views like in 1 day. So that video just got so viral that people were like 갑자기 suddenly, my Korean is
right. Good time there.
So like suddenly like people would follow me and stuff, and then I got like contacted by Korean PDs, like producers, like asking me, oh, your Korean is so fluent, would you be interested in having a TV show, like guest shows? And I was like, okay, what is it about? Why should I do that? Like, oh, we're just gonna ask some question about like cultural difference, for example, or a specific topic we want to know, and you just have to speak in Korean and tell about your experience or about that information we want you to tell about. So that was actually the first time I got to know some producers. And then, since Korea is really a country where connections are really, very important,
yes,
one hit the other one, and then like domino, the other, and then it just got up the rumors. Oh, there is a girl who speaks Korean well from Germany, so they would just introduce me each other with other people. So that's how I started to do also TV shows, and yeah, and then also some radios, and sometimes I have some gigs where I can go and speak on the TV, and yeah, but it didn't change a lot in my life, I would say. But sometimes people will recognize me, that felt like a little bit like scary, but also nice. But
and
yeah,
fun. Like, no matter what else it is, that is really fun.
yeah.
And such a great memorable thing, like, for you for the rest of your life, and your family as well. I've got to think that's pretty cool.
I mean, my family, my friends in Germany, they're like, what is she doing? Like, she's now in Korea, being on TV, doing that stuff. Like, they're like, we never would imagine you like being there in 5 years. Like, when you're in high school, people will say, where do you see yourself in 5 years or in 10 years? But I think I would not guess this answer, like where I'm at now. I didn't know. So when I just look back sometimes to myself like 5 years ago, I can see I came far, and I'm really like happy with that, and kind of proud of that.
And it's really cool that it's kind of a combination, like, you're getting these great experiences. It was kind of a combination of hard work on your part, because you worked to learn Korean, and also a really good chance. You were in a video that went viral at just the right time. So I think it's so cool that you never know what's going to work out. So it's good to just go, just do.
With an open mind. Yeah.
Something could really come from it. And I absolutely agree with you about everything being connection in Korea. It so is. Oh, Ilayda, as soon as I posted that I was going to do an interview with you, immediately like 2 or 3 people texted me like, I know her.
Really? Okay.
And Daniel from Samosa, Daniel says that your German oppa says hello.
Oh, hello. Okay, my 선배.
I know, right?
Oh, Daniel.
Let's see. So we had a question here. What do you do? Are you still a student?
No, I graduated. I mean, finally, I would say. So I just graduated this year, and having a gap year between. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. But I have like the idea of studying like my master's. So I want to
Okay.
go more into education, more study. And yeah, I'm just enjoying my life, I would say. Just
Oh,
enjoying my life and trying out things. And trying out what I want to be and what I want to do. So there is no really one thing that I do, but a lot of things what I do. Yeah.
and this is the time to do it. Like you said, the gap year.
Hmm.
It's a little more popular in Europe than in
Yeah.
America, but
Oh, is
I,
it? I didn't think
I
I didn't know
you
that.
we don't really do it. And in Korea also, it's very common for
Mhm.
students to take time off of university.
Yeah,
Girls
true.
and guys, not even just for the guys go away to military and come back.
True.
Anyone can take a semester or two or three, and it's normal. But I feel like in America, we start our education and we go to the end. And if you take a break, it's like that's you're done. So
Oh,
we're
okay.
we're a little too stressy about that.
Yeah.
Oh, and we had a little question here about. Do you mind to tell us about the original version of your name and where it came from?
Oh yeah,
She was
so it is Ilayda, so that's my original name. So and it's a Turkish name, and my mom gave it to me. The water fairy. It has two meanings actually. So it's
saying.
the fairy of water or the first raindrop in paradise. Like it has like
That's
two really beautiful. Yeah, I
that
like the
is
meaning, like
too beautiful. The
yeah.
first raindrop in paradise. Oh, I have a master's degree in poetry, so that
Oh.
yeah, that line is so beautiful. It hurts my heart. It hurts.
Mm.
Thank you. That hit me right in the feels.
I love poetry, by the way. I love to. I read a lot of poetry books. Like
Oh,
yeah,
recommend me something sometime. I
yeah,
bet you've got good interest. So,
yeah.
Clincy from the Philippines says hello. Hi.
Hi. Oh, from the Philippines. I've been to Philippines 2 months
Oh,
ago for traveling. Yeah.
and I wanted to ask you, have you been to, also, have you been back to Turkey much? Have you been to where mom and dad are from?
So, since like actually since my child actually every year in summer we would just visit our relatives in Turkey. So basically, I think till I was like 19 or 20, I'm not sure. We went every year in summer holidays for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks to visit our parents, like my grandparents and my family there. So I'm kind of also really fluent in Turkish as well. But I never lived there. But every year I visited Turkey. But I basically traveled more after getting like an adult, like 18 in Germany. I don't in America it's 21, but yeah,
Germany
I
has the
traveled a
right
lot.
idea.
Yeah, I traveled after that like a lot for Europe and America once to New York. But yeah, in Asia
Wow.
actually, because of the pandemic, I didn't have the chance to travel a lot. But I've been recently this year to Cebu, to Philippines, and now I'm starting again to
Oh,
plan to travel all about Asia this time. Yeah, definitely.
you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I recommend Thailand. Thailand
That's my
is
next. Oh yeah, is it? I
you.
have to ask him more later then.
Oh. Okay, okay.
Okay.
That is like my number one spot.
Oh,
The so that is so cool. I like that you're a travel person.
I,
And we got a little hello there. It's early here. So where are you right now? What pretty smiles, virtual hug. Thank you. We
hello.
virtual hug you in return. I'm a virtual hugger. All right. I'll look in that. Then Layla says, I like your name. It has a marvelous meaning. I agree. That's pretty awesome. Oh, Lavani said, whenever we get success after they accept our decision. Yes, the when we make a decision, we go for it, that I think even if you fail, that is a kind of success. If
Yeah,
you've decided something's important to you and you move toward it and try to make it happen, you have succeeded already because you're
already.
following what's true in your heart. And I
Like
love that.
there is like a saying in Turkish, like in Turkey, but I don't know how should I explain in English, but it says being start, like start is the half of the rent. Like the start is the most hardest thing. So when you
Yes.
start, when you have the courage to start and you actually start, then you actually already paid the half of the rent, we say. So
Oh, paid half the
almost,
rent. Oh, I like that. I like
yeah,
that.
they say like
And
that.
I believe it too. I absolutely believe that. The you just got you've got to make yourself do the hard things.
Yeah,
And then once you've committed, it's like it's not even as hard anymore. It's that first step.
that's
So, speaking of hard things, this is an interesting question I like to
mhm.
give to people. How has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for a later success?
Oh, that's a deep question, actually.
I know, right?
I like it. I like it. I like to speak about this kind of thing. So, um,
Diving deep.
I think, like, of course, I had like some failures, like some things that I didn't like about myself or some mistakes I did, but I think every mistake and every failure in my life kind of made me a stronger person. So I become more stronger, and my mindset actually got more stronger. So I think having failures in life, they're kind of like what do you call that? Like it's important to have failures. Like I don't think nobody has a like a easy way to go. So having failures is kind of a must. It's essential.
Yes.
So yeah, I think for example like the language first when I studied Korean first, and I didn't know why, but I couldn't just like get better and get better. So I was kind of frustrated, but I think just keep going and not giving up was like most one of the maybe one of the things that make me later like more succeed in life. So these kind of things make me actually become like better and better and better. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. And like you said, failures, it's almost the more the better.
Yeah.
Try more, fail
Try.
more.
Yeah.
It's almost like nutrients. Like you have the failures make you stronger. They feed you. And it's just part of the process. So not even one big failure that
Oh,
sets
I
you up for
like that.
success, but just a
Yeah.
lot of little failures.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fail now, fail often.
Like you said, it's like kind of the process. Like when you fail, actually, you feel like everything is done and you will never become better, and everything like feels and just feels like you feel like lost. But when you look at the big picture, I think it's just like a little stone or a little part of the process you're in. And life, for me, life is a long time process. So you just keep
Yes.
going and going and going and going. You never know where the journey goes, but you just go. So I think this is also one thing about me. Like I don't like think about the future a lot. I just go with the flow, and it
Mm-mm-mm.
actually just made up like the future just makes up itself on the decisions I make in the present. So I don't try to stress myself about like for the future. Oh, what kind of job am I gonna do? How am I gonna like make money later? How I'm gonna be financially like good? I just go with the flow now and live now my life, and actually
Yes.
having a positive mindset on that, it's just like, do you know, like I maybe you know that one, like there is this thing like you think what you attract and you attract what you think. So
Yes.
that's that's
Yes.
that's that's what I basically do, and I think this helped me a lot, like arranging my thoughts and about life. So this is one of the things that I would also recommend to people, like just what you think you'll attract. So when you think positive, you will also attract positive things. But when you think like all the time like pessimistic and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna do that, I can't do that, then these things gonna attract you. So you will not actually make it. So
That's
it's
right.
kind of
You,
about the mindset.
you start it's like you start putting out like almost like radio waves or something, and what
Hmm.
you put out you do get back. And I really like something about what you said about like just choosing the next step, and you're kind of just creating the future as it happens. And I think that's one of the most valuable things anyone can do,
Hmm.
because we can only ever see just a few steps in front of ourselves anyway. And I think if you act truthfully and genuinely and beautifully and bravely in the moment, then the future is going to be a true, brave, genuine, beautiful future.
Sure.
So you're making some really good decisions then.
Hopefully.
Okay. So let's see. So Greece, Costa Rica. I did not know.
Voila.
Gracious. Let's see. I'm not sure who's the most beautiful one of you. Well, we'll both take that.
you,
We'll
you don't
both
have to
just
choose.
right. 여자랑 비교하면 안 돼요. We cannot compare the ladies. So Let's see. Do some people think that you're a native speaker because you really speak like a native English speaker?
No, they say like I sometimes have an American accent, but I think I have my own little accent when I speak English.
Mm,
Like not like an American like native speaker, but just Ila, like myself. I
mm.
have like a little bit. I think for some
Oh,
reason I pronounce it wrong. I don't know why.
is that your nickname, Illa?
Ah, Ila. Yeah, it's Ila.
Illa.
So basically Ila because Ilayda is so like long. So people in
Mm,
Korea made it up actually. So they call me Ila. So wherever I go, it's just like Ila Ila. And if for people who know Korean, Ila means like when you speak it fast, it's like Ila Ila. So Ilowa, like come
mm,
here. So it's like Ila
mm.
Ila, like Ilawa Ila. So it's just
Come
kind
here,
of
come
like a
here.
word game. Yeah. So it's Ila. So I just
Oh,
when I introduce myself to Koreans, I would say I'm Ila, not Ilayda.
oh.
Hmm.
The I'm lucky because Leigh, when written in Korean, is it's just Leigh, like it's a North Korean family name. So I I got lucky. I got lucky.
Yeah.
So many foreigners, we just have unpronounceable names. No one can get it. You have to use a nickname.
Yeah.
So we had a little question here that was how did you meet Elena? Well, we have not physically met yet.
Virtual hug.
Virtual hug. So the way it often happens is sometimes the way I'll meet guests is through a friend. But in this case, I came across her Instagram and she just looked so interesting. I was like, I gotta ask her. She looks really fun. I gotta see if I can interview. So it was just my inspiration. I thought she'd be a great person and she definitely was after I looked at her YouTube. So this is our first meeting.
True. But I mean, the first meetings are the most, for me, they're really fun because there's so much like potential to speak up and to know a person and just having like this one is like for me, it's really like a long time that I have a deep talk or like a little bit like kind of talk with a person that I met first time. But I mean, it just feels good. So
Thank you. Thank you. No, it's every human being we meet is an honor, you know? It's a chance to enter an entire new universe that this person inhabits. Okay.
I love
So
the words you choose. They're so beautiful.
okay, so I had another question to toss at you. What is the best advice you've ever gotten? And you can like do fun with this. Any category. Best advice you've ever gotten.
Wow, like there is one thing that I actually thought about when
Always
I just
carry an
thought
umbrella.
it sounds like maybe a little bit cringe, but the best advice I think I got is like from my mom. Like my mom is my one of my biggest like inspiration in life, I would say. And she was like, do whatever in your life and never regret it. And then she was like, I want you to experience everything what you can and just live your life. And I will
Okay.
I don't want you to look back and say, oh, I didn't do that, so I regret it. Like, why did I not do that in my like youth, in my 20s? So she was like, never regret, just do whatever you want to do. So my mom's advice, just to live your life, I think. When that was when I was like just 18 or like 19 years old. So I was kind of really young about that. And when my mom said it, it just made me like this advice just like kind of support, like it felt so supportive. So that's I think one of the things that I will never forget in my life, and also maybe advice to other people, and also like to my own children later, maybe because that was really like insane jogging, like really, like
Oh, oh, oh.
yeah, insane. I don't know
That,
how to
that's
spell insane
no,
jogging.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. That's like a quote to carry with you in your life.
Hmm.
And it, like you said, it does sound kind of deceptively simple, but I think you're right. I think your mom is right that more often people regret what they didn't do
Hmm.
unless they commit a crime like robbing a bank. Most people are going to be much more sad over
Yeah,
something they weren't brave enough to do than over
that's
something
the thing.
they did.
Be brave. That's the thing. Be brave and never regret. And just if you have any thought, oh, I really want to do it, but I don't know if I can do it, then just go for it. Because like there is nothing like you can just fail and then it's not the end of the world. Just try again, try something else. Like I think people are just scared of failure too much, so they don't
I
even risk to try.
And I do think that a lot of people over exaggerate failure in their head. Like they think this is going to lead to like bankruptcy or
Yeah.
death or something. Probably not. It's not. You're probably going to be fine. So, as a counterpoint to that, what advice should people ignore? Is
Mm.
there? It could be a little thing, like some advice about university or life in Korea or dating. Ooh, we haven't talked about dating yet. That's a fun
Yeah.
one.
Like, what advice should people ignore? I think like something that makes you stop doing something. Like when
Hmm.
people would be like, don't do this, it's not good for you. Like just speaking in behalf of myself, but they speak about someone else, like telling me what I should do or not. I think they should just ignore that and just have an own opinion about that and make an own experience and
Mhm.
just see after trying it. Like if I didn't try something yet, and I asked someone, "Oh, what do you think about it?" And then they're like, "Oh no, I definitely don't disagree. You should never do that." Like, I think people should not just like listen to someone and just like adapt to another person's opinion, but
Hmm.
rather go and just experience itself and then make an opinion based on their own experience. So I'm
Exactly.
not a big
Consult
fan
with
of, yeah,
yourself.
I'm not a big fan of like advice from other people, like be like, don't do that and don't do that because I did it, so don't do that. I will be like, okay, thanks for the advice, but I will ignore it and I will just make my own mindset up.
You are
That will
so
be like,
cool.
I will just, yeah, that's maybe one
No,
thing.
I love that. I love that. Let's see. Let's see. So we covered this a little bit earlier, but I think
Mm.
she learned most of her English,
Oh yeah, in
or
school.
the foundations were in school. But she said that in South Korea, actually, her English got better because there's so many foreigners here that speak English, and you kind of have to use it like a lot.
Yeah.
This is something I'm curious about. Do you read? Do you read much? And if you
Um,
do read, what do you like recommend to people?
So I read, but I read just a specific kind of books actually.
Okay,
So
what do you?
there are like two kind of like the one you already said like before. I love to read like poems. So I'm really into poetry. So read a lot of like what do you call that, like essays, like
Okay,
poetry
okay.
essays. So I love that, like having a really beautiful like meaning behind the words they speak, like metaphoric. Is it metaphoric in
Mhm.
English? I'm not sure,
Yes,
but
yes.
like I love these kind of books. And the second one is like psychological books. I'm into psychology because in university back in Germany, I studied education science and psychology. So I loved actually to read about like people's mindset. So I really recommend some people always books that kind of makes up like spiritual books that kind of helps you to get stronger. So one of the books that I really recommend to people was like Who Says You Can't, You Do. It's one of the bestsellers, but I forgot the name of the author, but it's basically a book that sells you can do everything what you want and you attract things what you think, like what I said before.
Yes.
I got it from the book. So, and a book called like Sunny Brain, Rainy Brain. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe you can like assume what it's
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
It's about optimistic and pessimistic people, why some people are more optimistic about life and some people are more pessimistic, like the sunny brain of your part and the rainy brain. So like to read about this kind of like things, like why people sometimes act the way they are, because I want to understand people better. So I don't want to be like, why is this person like that? I just want to know where this comes from, the roots of that kind of mindset. So I like to read about these kind of books.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so
Hmm.
poetry and psychological books.
Hmm.
But again, that's so cool because you're kind of covering like the artistic side, like just beauty, like you're
Yeah.
getting that artsy side, and then you're getting something a little more practical, something that literally helps you move around in the
Hmm.
world.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's pretty sweet. I think that's like a good Okay, sorry, we got a lot of English learning questions.
Oh yeah.
So,
Okay.
rules to follow. You get language learning questions all the time because
Yeah.
you're is four is polyglot, right? We go
Polyglot.
bilingual, trilingual, and I think at four it's like so. Okay,
Poly.
so
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
official
Yeah.
polyglot. So, what are your tips?
Yeah. For me, I think I would say, first of all, don't be scared, be confident. So, for me, the most important, like the key to learn a language is actually speak up. Like speak up. Just don't be scared and just speaking up. So what I did was like the things what I learn or just like learn periodically, I just would like use it in practice. So I would just go and be like, okay, oh, I think I heard this phrase, so let me just use it. And then I use it and I ask to a local, like of course to a person who speaks a language natively. So I would be like, is that true? Do you say it like that? But I won't be like embarrassed to say that, oh, I think I said it wrong. I would be just, oh, okay, so I said it wrong. So how do you say it in the right way? So I was always like questioning myself, like, did I say it right? Did I say it wrong? So I think I never been like awkward around the person. So I would just speak up and be confident about myself because I want to learn. And I mean, if you want to learn something, of course you will also make mistakes when you speak. So be making mistakes is actually also one of the key points. You must make mistakes to learn the language. You can't be like perfect. I mean, nobody starts like in a perfect way. So I would say speak up is the first thing. Of course, second thing that's also really important is you have to continue. Like you can't just start and be like, okay, I'm so motivated to speak. Like I want to start learning a language because that's where most of the people actually fail because they start because they're motivated to learn the language. But then when they see the first obstacles, like first like hard question and the mistakes, and they're like, oh my God, I can't do that. It's too much grammar, it's too much vocabs and stuff. They give up. And I think one of the second thing is like you should stay, what do you call it, like constant. You have to be constant.
Yes.
So you have to be consistent about that. And if you really want to learn it, then you will stay because that's the thing what comes from inside, right? So just being like, oh yeah, I want to just do it. So how do I do that? Like you have to stay consistent, I guess. Yeah.
And I would absolutely agree that anything you really want to do in life, you can't do it because you are motivated, and you can't do it when you feel motivated because motivation is a feeling. It is a feeling. You have to find ways to create a habit, however long or short. It has to be a habit. And if it's something that you do, then you're going to get good results. Reading about psychology is always interesting. I like it too. Of course you do, May. You like human nature, don't you? Let's see. Can you please type the title of that book? Who Says You Can Do? Ilayda, I don't know. Can you reach the typing in?
So it's like, who says you can't?
Okay.
Like it's a question. Who says you can't?
Who says you? Hold on. I have to move my camera to actually get it typed in. Who says you can't? And then question mark.
And then question mark. You do.
Who says you can't? You do. And we don't remember it, Lily. We don't remember the author's name.
Yeah.
But
I can look it up in a second.
But I think that's enough to go on.
That's enough to know. Yeah.
That's Googleable. And so we had the question. So, do you speak with people in Korea only in English, or do you speak Korean? Oh, girl, she is so good at Korean. They pull her onto Korean television shows all the time to speak her amazing Korean. So no, she's 4 languages. So it's Turkish, German, Korean, and English. She's so good. She's so good. So
I speak in Korea only English, or you only speak Korean? So basically, I think I speak both languages, like Korean and English a lot, but it depends on who I speak to. So we didn't speak about dating yet, but normally when I speak like to my friends, to my Korean friends, like I would speak in Korean most of the times, of course outside also Korean, but to my friends like from Germany, I speak in German. And then to people who don't share the same language with me, basically all of my international friends, it's of course English. So it depends who I'm speaking to. Yeah.
And that is, I think, of course, I'm a native English speaker, so I do like English, and I'm an English teacher, professor. But I think, again, that's one of the beauties of learning English is that it's just this, you can apply it to anything. You can use it almost anywhere. It's such a businessy thing. And so that's one of the good points. Evan, fun. Hello, join the chat, Leigh. You may have already answered. Which language do you dream
That
in?
I actually wanted to say something about
Oh,
that. So I don't know what you guys think, but the answer is Korean. It's
what?
crazy.
Oh,
Like I think I'm kind of losing my German and Turkish side a little bit, like speaking like ability, because I don't
mm-mm.
speak it as much as I speak Korean
Right.
and English these days since I'm here right now. But like recently when I had a dream, I remember it was in Korean. And actually when I'm alone, I speak to myself a lot. Like I talk alone a lot. Like oh, 오늘 뭐 하지? 오늘 어디 가지? Like I do a lot of these questions. So I realized myself speaking in Korean to myself too. So that was kind of creepy. I'm like, why do I speak like in Korean, not in German or in Turkish, but why is it Korean? And then when I just think about what should I eat today, it will just like pop up in my mind in Korean. So my dreams or my mind is all in Korean.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful, though. I have a theory about why it's easier to talk to ourselves in Korean.
Hmm.
And the theory is that, from my observation, Koreans talk to themselves more than English speakers talk to themselves. I don't know
Oh,
why that is, but I have noticed people doing, like, you'll hear people like talking to themselves out loud.
yeah.
And my theory is that because Korean has these levels of formality, and anytime you talk to another person, you have to choose, you have to make a
Mhm.
conscious decision which level you're going to choose.
Uh-huh.
It's just it's an easy way to get out some, some verbal stuff by talking to
Hmm.
yourself. That's my theory. Might be completely crazy.
That sounds actually, yeah. I mean, it's reasonable. It's reasonable. I understand. I mean, yeah, maybe I adapted to the culture, like because I see Koreans doing like that. I just started to do it automatically. I mean, you maybe also know when, like, since you live 9 years in Korea, like some of the parts of yourself is getting more Korean, like just like some 습관, like some habits that I
Mm-mm-mm.
didn't have back in Germany. I started to have them in Korea. So when I actually went back to Germany, I like visit my family and friends, I got like a reverse culture shock. So they were like, "Why do you do that? Like, why do you say that?" I was like, "Oh, am I?" Like, I don't even realize it. Like, for example, like these things like reactions, like "Ah, 그래?" So when I listen in Germany, I would never be like 맞아, like like these kind of things. We never do that. And then my friends are like, "Are you okay? Like, why are you doing that?" And I'm like, "Oh, did I? I didn't even realize that this is like considered more Korean since I didn't know that." And then yeah, my mom would also be like why do you like that? Like the language. Like some of the parts I just transferred into German. So what Koreans do, I would transfer them in German, and when I speak German, I would have this the flow, in German. So my mom was like, "Why do you speak German in this tone?" Yeah.
It's it's funny, kind of the crossover on some of these. The let's see. Oh, and we had another one for Evan. If you got a pet, what language would your pet's name be?
Which language? Oh, actually, the pet or a child would be same for me. So I was thinking it's gonna be like an international name. So I
Ah,
would choose more
something.
like maybe something more exotic. So an international, maybe an English name that is like considered everywhere in the world and accepted, not just in one country. Because
Right.
yeah, it's more easier. Because if you have a lot of languages you speak, you don't know which one you should like prefer the most, because I can't choose because I love all of them for. So I don't want to make a like a rule between them. So
Oh, right. That would definitely be like choosing a favorite if you went
hmm
with an animal
hmm
name or a or
and I
a
don't do that.
and I sometimes I wonder, especially with like baby names, if you are a multicultural person with a multicultural partner and you might be living in different places in the globe, what kind of name do you pick? Like, because you might end up in a place where they can't say your child's name at all.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's
We have
it's
to really think
interesting.
about that. Depends. Yeah.
So the thought that has to go into some of that. Okay, cute question for you. What's an unusual habit that you have, or some ridiculous thing that you absolutely love?
An unusual habit about myself. Hmm. I don't know why, but I have this. It's not a habit, but like a thing. Like
Hmm?
when I just meet a new person, I don't know why, but I feel so. close to that person. Like for me, meeting a new person is not like really hard. So when I meet someone, I'm like, oh, I know this person for at least 10 years. So I would just speak like if I met this person yesterday and we had drinks already, but I met just the person for the first time. But I think I like that about myself, that I can just make friends or like people around me comfortable. And I think this is like this, it's not ridiculous, but it's just like
Mm.
some people feel like, why is she so like friendly? Oh, I mean, we just met, but how can she be like that close to me already? Like they feel a little bit like the what you call it, the distance. But
Right,
I just
right.
like just break through it and I'm like, hi. So I think that's maybe something, it's not ridiculous, but a thing that yeah, it's unique, but I like that about myself. Just
No, that sounds wonderful because it sounds like wholeheartedness, the ability to just go out there and connect.
But
But
I mean, not everyone likes it. I mean, it depends on the person.
but also it's so much a life skill because as you know from living in a foreign country, you have to make friends actively and clearly, and
Hmm.
it doesn't just happen. Like where we grow up, you become friends with the kids that are in your class or in your neighborhood is
True.
so easy. But so I think you got what amounts to a survival skill there. Even if not everybody likes it, that's pretty cool. So another one here was, what's the biggest lesson you've learned in 2022?
Wow, that's also a really deep one. I learned a lot. I think, I mean, I'm still learning, but I'm still
Mm-mm.
progressing, I would say. But maybe the thing that you should not trust everyone. Don't trust too much. Don't rely too much on other people. Like
Mhm, mhm.
and just getting more independent, I guess. Like living a life that is like supposed to be for you. But I think, yeah, not trusting everyone easily, and yeah, thinking twice before making a decision. I would say, yeah, definitely. No, I mean, I mean, of course there are good and bad things, but maybe if we talk about lessons, and from lessons we learn. So I think I learned a lot this year.
That's not bad. It's not bad being kind of alert, awake,
Hmm.
conscious,
Conscious,
going,
yeah.
okay, I'm not going to be afraid, but I am going to know that this is
Mm.
something I need to think about.
I think, and also like maybe one lesson, biggest lesson. It's not like a lesson, but to be able to live alone somewhere, because it was not easy actually to come abroad, like living abroad, and make the decision to like live abroad without the family and friends
Mm-mm.
in Korea. So I had like some experience like where I was really sick and I felt really homesick at that time because I didn't have anybody to look after me, and I have to like be alone, and that like that feeling, that sort of feeling that you been alone and you feel that you're alone here and there is nobody who can look after you, and that's the feeling that you can just feel when you're abroad. So I think one of the lesson was also like I learned to appreciate more my family and friends back in there, because I was like, oh, I thought it's like of course they're there for me, like I took it for granted, but then when you feel it's not, then I think it was a big lesson to learn from it and appreciate the little things about life and family and friends more. So I kind of treat them even better than now. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. And I would say the same for me. Of course, I've lived overseas a long time, but
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever have loved my family as much as I do or appreciated them as much as I
Hmm.
do if I hadn't lived on a different continent. When you can't access them, when they can't be there for you, then you go, oh, wow, that was valuable. That was
Hmm.
beautiful. I'm
Hmm.
so good. So, like, everyone, abandon your family, live away from them. You'll like them better. It helps. It helps.
It
All
does.
right, everybody. So we are winding down the interview. Last 2-3 minutes. Get your last questions. Get your last questions in. Oh, this is a good one. What's the pros and cons of living in Korea?
Whew.
Ooh.
I mean, when I came first to Korea, I just had a really good image and good mind. Like everything is like in the K dramas. I thought about that, but then coming here and living here and living in the Korean society, I realized it's just like somewhere like it's like like it's like same as if you would live in a different country. Like every country has its pros and cons. I mean, but I think pros it's really like I would say in three words, like
Mm-mm.
secure, like security, like secure,
Mm-mm.
and then comfortable and fast. Like if you're a person who loves to be in a secure place and also comfortable, like comfortable, I mean, you can have everything what you need 24 hours. You can just order something, you can go out. If you need something, you don't have to be like in Germany, everywhere Sunday is closed. So you have to wait for 2 days to go to the mark, for example, and fast. So if you have an appointment, you don't need to do appointment 3 weeks in advance. You can just go and get the stuff that you want. So that may be pro, like for my personality. It's I'm a little bit impatient. So I think that's really good. But cons, of course, Korea is still like considered not really like a multicultural, like what do you call that? A lot of like integrated people from other countries. So it's still like
Diversity is still
diverse, yeah,
low.
diversity. Yeah, so it's not really diverse yet. So maybe that part I miss a lot from Germany, like and also individualism, like
Oh,
in
ooh, ooh.
back in Germany and Europe, I would see a lot of like individual people with a lot of unique styles and fashion style. But here, it's more people would just go with one trend and one thing, and everybody just wear like that, or everybody acts like that, and just buy the thing what they see. So I miss that kind of unique style and unique people that I would see back in Germany or back in Europe. So that's maybe, and maybe the thing that I can't have a lot of deep talks as I used to have with like my foreign friends, because I think it's not a thing in Korea, like the discussion thing, for example. People don't discuss in classes, they don't have any debates. So you just tell, and people would not be able to tell about their opinion freely in
Mm.
public. So maybe that's maybe for me, like personally, it's like
Oh,
con. I mean, because I want to know what people think, but if they don't open up to me because they're scared, they don't know how to express themselves, then it's a bit like different from what I've been used to back in Germany.
I would that matches with my experience a fair bit with the sharing of opinions,
Mm-hmm.
because I have university students, and the work I have to do to make sure that they feel safe and comfortable
Mm-hmm.
sharing their genuine thoughts. It's a lot of groundwork that I would not necessarily have to do in the States.
Yeah, true.
Um, it's just
Definitely.
harder for anyone to stand out from the group and say, I think this, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me if this opinion is not shared.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that tendency to group together. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, question. Are you satisfied with your English, or do you want to learn more?
I think for me, of course, every day I learn. I'm even now, like I'm still trying my best, but of course, I'm not satisfied like 100%ly. But I think it's pretty good right now as it is. But it could be always better, more academic, more vocab so that I can use maybe in a different like association. But yeah, I would say I'm kind of yeah satisfied with the English skills.
And we had one more question from our friend. 기사님, 한국에 있는 터키 음식 추천해 주세요. So,
한국인 터키
what Turkish food in Korea can you recommend?
there is not a lot. So, I mean, the most what is like really popping up these days is kaimak, this like sour, like creamish, like cream, sour cream,
Mhm.
thing that you just like can just eat with the bread. But beside that, I would just say cook yourself, because I'm also cooking a lot. Like I love to cook, so at home I'm just making my own dishes actually.
All right, that's cool. It's starting to cook a little more, and now it makes me curious for Turkish food. So I need to actually meet you when I go to Seoul. I'll be in Seoul this weekend. I'm
Okay.
usually I'm usually in Seoul every weekend, actually, for one thing and another. So I want to actually see you. Maybe we can try to find a Turkish restaurant.
I would love to help you. You're welcome. And
Thank
so,
you. All right. So, everyone, this is the end of our discussion. Thank you so much for coming. We had a great time, everyone. See you in a few days. And you can check the links in the description. You can find Ilayda's Insta and YouTube, and I hope you'll check her out later. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you.
See you.